Welcome to Extra Holes Stanley Cup edition. My partner Scott Ainsworth will be sitting this one out and handing over his seat to the Hall of Fame goalie, Grant Fuhr. Grant, welcome to the show, and thanks for being a part of our little podcast here.
Hey, always my pleasure.
All right. A little bit about Grant. Okay, the accolades go on and on and on, but I'm just going to kind of nip it in the bud and go short and to the point here. The pride of Spruce Grove, Alberta, played for 6 NHL teams. I hope I pronounce this right? Vezina Trophy? Is that how you say it?
Vezina.
I knew that's SoCal guy for you. All right, sorry. Vezina Trophy winner in 1988. That's for the best goalie of the NHL. William M. Jennings Trophy Award winner. That is actually the most games played with the fewest goals scored against, correct?
Correct.
All right.
Team trophy, that one.
Oh, yeah, got it. Played in 5 Stanley Cup finals, all 5 in the years with the Oilers, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, look at that. SoCal guy. I'm doing my homework, I think. Inducted in the Hall of Fame in 2003. Sorry, I missed that. I should have been there. Also that year, the number 31 jersey retired for the Edmonton Oilers. That must have been a special moment from you being from Alberta. And he holds numerous records, Stanley Cup victories, international championships, blah, blah. I could go on and on and on.
I'm old.
Yes, exactly. Welcome to the team. But let's talk about the Stanley Cup finals. Tampa Bay off to a quick start, 5-1 with their victory last night. First off, what is it like playing in a Stanley Cup? Is it different from your regular season, right? You have a lot of games you got to play, and you're traveling all over the place, and then the playoffs start. And what is it like? Is the playoffs different from the Stanley Cup, or is the playoffs just like the Stanley Cup? So just try to get your input there.
Well, you know what? Your regular season's kind of, say you're on the highway and you're driving 50. So you're cruising along the speed limit. You get to the playoffs, all of a sudden, now you're doing 70. You get to the Stanley Cup final, and now all of a sudden you got your foot on the floor. So it graduates as it goes. Whereas the regular season, yeah, guys care, but they don't have that extra mile. The minute you hit the playoffs, everybody puts their foot on the gas pedal and goes up an extra notch. By the time you get to the finals, you're running flat out.
Got it. And I know that there's, you start to see the idiosyncrasies where guys don't shave and they do all. Did you have anything like that where you I don't know, wore the same socks the whole time? I don't know what you had, but was there any idiosyncrasies, a day-to-day agenda that you stayed to?
No, I mean, we all grew beards. As you can tell, it was a little different shade than what we got going now. But
right.
We all grew
beards. By the way, I'm joining in that department, and I never played hockey. So, yeah.
But yeah, no, everybody grew beards. Other than that, we were a pretty laid-back team.
Oh, and you had the opportunity to play with, the greats like Gretzky and the Messiers, the Andersons, the Currys, the Coffees. Like, what was your best year of those 5 Stanley Cups? Or you played in 7, sorry, of those years that you had that run in the 80s. What was that you thought, like, maybe during the season or once the playoffs hit, you're like, you know what, there's no chance. I mean, we're going to run this thing. And, this was the team.
Well, a lot of people thought the 85 team was the best team. I mean, we got voted the best team in the history of the game, but I thought the 87 team was better. I mean, we had a nice little run in 87 in the playoffs. I think we went 16-2. So it's just, it was a deep team. We had 5 lines that could play. We had 8 defensemen that could play. So it was a deep team. Yeah.
And when it comes to, what I'm kind of seeing for the Stanley Cup this year was that 88 team or the 85 team that you guys you're talking about. Is that were you very good in all categories where, I look at, say, Montreal, that's good in the penalty kill. And then, you look at Tampa Bay, it's good on the power plays. Like what was it for those teams that really kind of brought you guys up, or was it just depth?
You know what it was is we could play any style of game. I mean, we could play that offensive game, which we played all the time, but we could also play a good defense. We could play the rough and tumble game. I mean, we had all the pieces that you need to play any style that any team wanted to play. And the best part, we just happened to be able to do it a little better than most teams.
Yeah. And the style of play, you've seen it change from when you were in there to what it is today. So was it more physical back then than it is today? Because I'm starting to see the game now be more about speed and technical. And I remember you telling me a long time ago when we were playing golf, I asked you, I said, would you rather have a guy that can skate really good and not be a very good stick handler, or a guy that's a great stick handler, but not very good skater? And you said, I'll take the skater all day long because you can teach the stick handling.
Yeah, you know what? Speed's everything in the game of hockey. And I think you see it in today's game where the game's gotten so much faster. But back in the 80s, we were a fast team at that time. And I think that was kind of the transition where the game went to speed, and then it kind of got bogged down again in the 90s where everybody went to the defensive system. And I think now teams are going back to speed again where everybody wants to attack.
Right.
And it's a fun way to play. And yeah, is it a softer game? It's a softer game now, definitely. But the fun part of the playoffs this year is it's actually got a little bit of meanness to it. So you're
I'm starting to see that. It's getting a little bit more physical. And, I like to watch a little bit last night. The kid from Montreal, is it Gallagher? Is that how you say his last name? He's a little scrappy guy. And they're just wanting to push him around, but he's a little engine that can. But I'd like to see that. I did notice that it was getting a little bit,
it's getting closer to where guys are a little more sensitive, and there's a little bit of the roughness. You're starting to see that little whack and hack every now and then. I love the way Shea Weber's playing. I mean, yeah, they fined him $5,000 for the slash, but he got his money's worth out of it. So that's what playoff hockey is. It's about sending a message, and it's the battle of attrition. So if you can make guys want to stay out of the dangerous areas by being a little bit meaner, so be it.
Perfect. Awesome. So you got finally a Canadian team in the Stanley Cup, right? So that was great. I mean, what I thought was a little interesting with, the whole COVID thing has been kind of weird about the whole, I find it a little funny that Montreal, that is so far east, is playing in the West, right? So that was a little bit on how that whole thing was adjusted. So I understand that, but it's great to see that a team from Canada is actually getting in and playing. And the last time was like 1993, I think. And doesn't Montreal hold the most cups ever won, or is it just played in?
I would guess Montreal's probably got the most cups won. They've got a long storied history at the organization.
Yeah. So you look at the Montreal, known for the penalty kill, and Tampa Bay's 40% on the power play. I think when you look at it, both teams are just really got two good goalies, with Carey Price and SoCal guy. All right. Andre Vasilevsky. Okay. My bad. I butchered this. So you got two, and you got the kid from Tampa Bay that's actually trying to win back-to-back cups. And you've been in that situation before. So is there just a little bit more pressure on you, or do you still take it, kind of the day-to-day agenda and stay to your points?
No, you got to stay on course. I mean, it's hard to win the first cup. It's harder to win the second one.
Yeah.
So they've got to address things day to day, go about it. I mean, Vasi's been great all playoffs, which you have to have. Good goaltending always wins championships.
Right.
So, but Carey Price has been phenomenal for Montreal. And that's part of the reason why they're there. So the way I see it is they've got the two best goalies in the game right now playing against each other. And you've got a team in Montreal that's kind of blue collar versus a team that's high skilled, and we'll call it white collar, in Tampa. So it makes for a good contrast.
That's great. And what's funny is you going back last year, Tampa Bay wins the cup, Tampa Bay wins the Super Bowl, and Tampa Bay's in the World Series. It was crazy how this little town in Florida has got all the three major sports, and they're going to the finals in every sport. So Tampa, and educate me, where did Tampa come from? Where were they before?
Where was Tampa before? I didn't even thought about that.
Was that like a Hartford or something like that?
No, actually, I think Tampa was an expansion team.
Were they expansion team? Okay. All right. But it's crazy how this little Florida town is now, the Stanley Cup champions, and now they're in the Stanley Cup again. So, I guess good ownership and good GMs, and they're doing a hell of a job down there. So,
you know what? It's a good organization. I think that's the biggest thing. You got to have an organization that believes in the players, and you plug the pieces in and out that you need. And Tampa's done a good job of that.
And going back to, your roots, you're still involved a little bit with the Oilers, right? Are you doing stuff with them still?
I do some corporate stuff for them once in a while. But other than that, just a fan.
Yeah, there you go. And I know you go back and support them a lot. So Okay, let's just go down to your thoughts on how you already saw game one, and it looked like it was a close game until the third period, and then all of a sudden Tampa broke it open. But let me know your thoughts about what do you think the finals are going to look like.
Well, you know what? I thought game one was a contrast. Montreal looked a little flat. So maybe it's coming out of game 7 against Vegas where they're a little bit flat, and Tampa looked like they were hitting on all cylinders.
Yeah.
So you kind of knew that Tampa would be the better team in game 1. I think you're going to see a different Montreal in game 2. And I think it's going to be at least a 6-game series, possibly a 7-game series, because I think Montreal is going to be a lot better in game 2.
Oh, that's good. I hope it goes game 7 because you know what game 7s are. I don't care if it's in the playoffs or I don't care if it's in the Stanley Cup. Game 7s are just strap on, buckle up, and hold on for the ride because it's awesome to watch. Especially the third period is just insane to watch.
There's nothing better. So yeah, I'm hoping for a game 7.
Did you have any game 7s in your Stanley Cups?
We had one. We played Philly in what did we take Philly? 88. We went to a game 7.
Okay. So that must have been just, I mean, talk about 90 miles an hour. You're going 120 miles an hour, probably something like that, right?
Oh no, there's no question. And we played game 7 at home, so now you've got the pressure of the home crowd, and it makes things a little more interesting. There's no question.
All right. So who's your winner in game 6 or game 7?
Tampa's the better team. There's no question. I mean, the only way Montreal wins is if Carey Price steals a couple of games.
Got it. All right. So there's your Stanley Cup preview from the legend himself, the Hall of Famer. He's got Tampa in 6 or 7. But what you don't know, and maybe some of you do know, but Grant's an exceptional golfer. I played many rounds with him, so I know that. So Grant, just get us a little educated about how you got into golf, when you started, like when did the hook get in the lip, and turn your golf game into that 90 mile an hour. Like I'm totally hooked, and this is going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, you know what? I played a little bit as a kid with my dad, and but didn't really have the bug for it. And then when I went out to play junior in Victoria, not old enough to go to the bars, that sort of thing. So the guys played golf. So started to play a little bit of golf there and kind of got the bug, and it's only gotten worse every year. So
right, exactly. Yeah, I know that personally with you. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so now I'm still a gear junkie, still a golf head.
You're right. So when you were playing hockey then, and when you got the bug and everything, I know this personally because sometimes when you guys went to the West Coast, you would sometimes bring your sticks, sometimes you wouldn't. It would all be break on, what day you had off and all that kind of stuff. But did you guys travel with your sticks a lot, or did you only just go rent clubs and put them, or get guys like me to join you and say, hey, bring a bag and put it together for me, type of deal?
A little bit of both. Normally we couldn't bring clubs.
Okay.
That would have been a little bit taboo, but usually you either rented clubs or you found a way to get clubs somehow. And
right.
You always threw a pair of shoes and some golf balls in your bag just in case you happen to find some time off.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I've experienced that. Yeah. And you're bringing the boys out. Yeah. It's been a lot of fun. When you got into it as a kid, like how old were you roughly?
I probably played a little bit when I was 8 or 9 and then didn't play for a while. And I really got the bug was when I was about 16, 17.
Okay. But you also played a little bit of baseball, right? As a kid, did you play baseball? Did you?
Played a lot of baseball.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Golf really wasn't on the picture screen at that point in time. It was hockey and baseball. And as soon as hockey ended, I went straight into baseball. And right up until about my 4th year pro, I played senior men's baseball.
Oh, did you really? Oh, okay. I didn't know that actually.
I got the lecture that they're not paying me to play baseball, so we had to.
Okay, then it's 24/7. Yeah, and you snuck out to play golf. So that was then, and this is now. You play a lot now. You live now in Palm Desert, and I know that you play a lot of golf around there. And you probably have a group of guys that you like to play with. My partner, and my partner Scott, who's usually on the podcast with me, he lives from a hockey state, Minnesota. So he understands a little bit of hockey there. But what do you guys like to play? Is it usually a team thing? Is it an individual thing? Is it a skins thing? When you go out and play with the boys down in the desert?
You know what we normally do is we'll have a skins game where if it's 2 groups, everybody will throw $20 in the pot. If it's one group, we'll play $2 or $3 skins. with carryovers, of course. And then you've got individual games with everybody. So just enough to keep your appetite whet.
And if you're wanting, I'm going to expose you here a little bit. And if you're wanting to have somebody run the scorecard, have Grant run the scorecard. There are highlighters, there are different colored pens, there are everything. So when you actually get done with the round of golf with Grant, it looks like he's put I don't know, a gorgeous painting together. But it's very easy to say, you won this, you won that, you won this, and you lost that.
Makes the math simple. That's my office.
Yeah, you, by the way, you set up the golf cart like an office. That's the funniest thing. You got all these pins and everything hanging out of it.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know where I learned that? I learned that from Robert Gamez.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah. He's the first one I saw do that. And I'm like, shit, that makes the scorecard look real easy. So I started doing that.
So what's in the bag? I know you're sponsored by Strixon. So talk to us about what's in your bag. So
we've got, what have I got now? I've got the ZX7s for irons, which are phenomenal. I just put the full face RTXs in, which love those. I've got the ZX7 driver, then the ZX fairway wood in. Actually, I carry a 5-wood. I don't carry a 3-wood. I'm too old now.
Yeah. So welcome to the team. There you go. I'm right there with you. Yeah, it's easy to hit it.
And what else we got? We got a 4 hybrid. And then, of course, I've got my usual plethora of putters because some of them work, some of them just don't work.
Right. You probably have a room in that place just for your putters. Yeah, exactly.
It's not as bad as it used to be, but it's.
And what ball are you hitting?
I've got the Z-Star going right now.
Okay. So there's a lot of Z's in your bag.
There's a lot of Z's in the bag.
Right. Exactly. All right. So now you're actually probably just started at probably about, I don't know, a couple months ago. You start your celebrity tour and you go all over the US playing in all these charity events for all of these guys that either played with or are all retired like yourself. And how many of these do you usually play in a year?
You know what? Before COVID, we'd travel 150 days a year. So last year, I think I traveled 4 days.
Yeah, so exactly. Yeah. But let's throw the whole COVID thing out. So you usually play, if it's a full gamut, you're playing. I'll
play 20 to 25.
20, 25. And you have the biggest one is the Tahoe event, right?
Tahoe's the biggest one. Last couple of years, I haven't played that one. I've played one in Coeur d'Alene, which is growing to be the same size as Tahoe.
Okay.
So that's become one of my favorites. But there's a lot of good. I'm going to play one in Hershey, which I haven't played before, which is supposed to be a fabulous event. So I'm headed out there in a couple of weeks to play that.
Are you not playing in Tahoe this year?
I'm not playing Tahoe this year.
Okay. And the closest you've ever come in Tahoe is you second?
I finished second a couple of times, finished third.
Yeah. And just for the record, people, he's won in San Diego when this guy was on the bag. All right. This guy right here.
Yeah, some guy's not a bad course manager and a good reader of putts.
Right. And that's it was great because you just more looked at me and said, what's my yardage? And then what's my line? And just stand back. And it worked out. It was great. It was great that it finished on that little par 3 there, Morgan Run in San Diego. And you hit I think a 9-iron or a wedge to about 15 feet and 2-putted for the victory. And that was a great time. It was a lot of fun to do that with you. So yeah, exactly. So what's the Tahoe event that's coming up here? It's turned into just a massive TV thing now, huh?
It has. I mean, NBC's done a really good job of that. And I think they use it for a lot of their NBC-based athletes and analysts and all that sort of thing. But you know what? It raises a lot of money for charity, which is fabulous.
Yeah. And if you give me the top 5 out there that are like top 5 players of the celebrity, like, because I know Smoltz is really good.
Is good.
Romo's really good. And so
Boulder's good. Romo's good. Marty Fish is good.
The tennis guy. Yeah, exactly.
Sterling Sharp's really good. There's probably a dozen guys that run their handicaps from 0 to the plus side.
Oh, that's great. Awesome. Good. Well, you finally got to put your golf tournament together I'm sorry. It was supposed to be a couple years ago, but was it canceled twice or 3 times?
3 times.
It canceled 3 times, and it was able to be played down in Palm Desert. I was invited to play in it. Thank you very much. I had a blast. And it's for a great foundation. And tell us a little bit about the foundation itself, and then where the monies go for the charity.
Well, my wife Lisa and I decided that, you know what, we've been running around the country for the last 5, 6, 7 years, raising money for different charities, that it'd be nice to start a foundation to raise some money for causes around here in the Valley. Right? We live here, so it's nice to give back to the Valley. So looking around, reaching out to some different people, we decided that, you know what, we'll start a foundation and we'll raise money for the Betty Ford Center.
Awesome.
So it's something that back in the early 80s, the Oilers used to bring us to play golf with President Ford. So with Mrs. Ford supporting the foundation and having a long history with it, we just decided that, you know what, it's great to give back, and it stays right here in the Valley. So that was a big part of it.
And that's a great place to send the money to, because it's really a big staple down there in the desert too. So good for you,
especially coming out of a pandemic.
Yeah, no kidding. Exactly. Instagram, it's GF31 Foundation is the Instagram page, correct?
Or you can find me at GrantFuhr31 on Instagram too.
Okay, and then is there a foundation website?
Grant Fuhr Foundation.
Well, I know that you have the Grant Fuhr Celebrity Invitational.com, but I didn't know if you have a foundation.com.
I'm not sure if we have a foundation.com or anything. That's the business side. So the brains of the operation runs that.
Right, exactly. It's a great tournament because you see Grant, he doesn't play in the tournament. He just drives around on his fat scooter and makes sure everybody's happy. It's a great golf tournament. You got great celebrities that come. You get the Jim McMahons and the Sharps. So you get a little bit of everybody that comes. You have somebody in the music industry to a little bit of everything. You got a baseball. I got to play with who's the first baseman for the
Larry Walker.
There you go. I think it's Todd Helton. So Larry Walker, great guy, awesome, good player too, really good player. So next year, what are the dates for next year, and what is the venue for next year? And then lastly is, how do people sign up to play in it?
Well, our dates for next year are May 13, 14, and 22, and it's the Grant Fuhr Celebrity Invitational.com. You can go on there. There's forms to sign up and such, and we've had a good response so far. And we've now moved it to the Desert Willow Golf Resort here in Palm Desert.
Great place.
Facility, 36 phenomenal holes, and I think it's going to be bigger and better this year.
Yeah, I just think it can only grow. And then also you put what's the hotel that's connected to you guys?
We got the host hotels, the Hotel Paseo. So great little boutique hotel that been phenomenal to work with.
And I've got to give kudos to your wife, Lisa Fuhr, because it is absolutely crazy what she's had to go through the last 3 years and actually take over the golf tournament and kind of run it. So kudos to her. She did a hell of a job, and I know that a lot of it got poured on her shoulder, your guys' shoulders, to try to run this whole thing. And
I put it on her shoulders. She's the brains of the operation, my tournament director. I'm just a pretty face.
Yeah, awesome. Well, Grant, I want to thank you for your time. I appreciate it, and thank you for your friendship. Now that it's hotter than hell out there, you're going to have to come to the coast to play golf. Let me know if you're ever up this way. Good luck with the celebrity tour here that you're going to be going on. And it was great seeing you at the Senior Open qualifying. That's right. I saw you there too.
There. One of us played horribly.
My caddy, but my buddy is an alternate. He just got the phone call to go back, and I might be there. I might be going back. He's the 5th alternate to get in at the Senior Open in Omaha. And I guess the place is hilly, and it's hot and humid, and they say a lot of people withdraw after like 1 or 2 practice rounds. So yeah,
it's got some hills in it. It'll be nice and warm.
Yeah, so I might go back for that. But again, Grant, thank you for your time. I appreciate everything coming on, and I look forward to many more podcasts with you down the road.
Sounds good, pal. Always a pleasure.
All right.
By the way, I'm coming to get bragging rights back too.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I'm not gonna make it easy on you. All right. All right, buddy.
Any less.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers.